Yeah. So Islamic Financial University, yeah. And this one is our collaboration.
Yes.
Have to match your lead, it goes into finance. And if you can match between your lead and financial goals, then hopefully you can have a happy mind and happy. Next one. And this one is our life cycles. Yeah, you like this cycle in the mountains, up and down. Yeah. So this one is a cycle based on your age now. So if but the net here is still 20 to 29 years old, so you are still building the foundation. Yeah. It means that you're still looking for what is the right foundation for me in the future, in terms of career, in terms of the financial management, yeah, and others. Next one. So this one also is the compilation of financial and life cycles. You see, sisters, your life is in the black line. Yeah. Up and down. Yeah. This one is your age, and this one is the rupiahs, or the money that you need. So when you are getting older, yeah, so for sure, yeah, your needs here, yeah, your life cost maybe become much more expensive. Maybe right now you are still feeding yourself, but maybe in the future when you have married, then you have to take care of your child, yeah, your husband, your wife. So it means that your income here, the black line here, is going up and down. Forever, the of living cost is always straightforward. The problem remains when the black line here located below the red line. Yeah, it means that the deficit, yeah, the relaxed then. But if you are here, it doesn't matter because your income is much more higher compared to the others. So therefore, next one, because of that condition, we need financial planning. So you have to plan your finance so that whatever condition that you face, you always be in balance. Yeah. So financial planning here means is bringing the future into the present. Yeah. So that you can do something about it now. So you try to calculate and considering now, and you put that calculation also into your planning, your financial. Next one. So you also have the benefit rules. You have to understand how to differentiate with and wants. So I don't know whether you have already understood how to differentiate. So if you cannot do differentiate that one, so you start in desire. It means you just make imagination with your action. Because you just maybe thinking on one. One here in economics called potential demand, not real demand. The real demand is need, actually, the thing that we need, that we want. So next one. So this one is another example of the want and need. If want here, I want to eat a burger, yeah. But need here is you need to eat some food. It means that the need here is something that is necessary in your life. If you don't do that, maybe you will be perished. It will be die. So, but only that's the one thing that desire. If you don't do that, it doesn't matter. That's the simple difference. Next one. Next one. This one is another way how the strategy balance in what and do. So you have to have these four metrics. So whether it's the what, so So the best one actually is whether you avoid, prioritize, choose to recognize, it depends on your condition. So if your condition here is prioritize, it means that if you have high one but low need. So you have to make some prioritize, yeah. And if you are in avoid here means low one, low need. It means that if you don't need it, you can avoid it. Recognize low one, high need. Oh, balance. So this one other example. So if you are in the current price, then means you have a choice whether you want to pursue or not. If you want the urgent high one and high need, it means you have to complete this one. For example, graduation. So this one is the urgent. Otherwise, you will be paying more and more. And avoid is not important at all. So you can just forget it. And important means low one, high need. For example, education. Yeah, low one, but minimum for education. So in order to make this matrix, you have to be able to make some matrix calculation. So that explain your need here is low, moving or high, just put one each to one. So once we have already understood the calculation there, we just make some preference. Otherwise, we need one. Whether you are in the one or two or three, there is based on your personal one. So this one another understanding example, yeah. Example smoking, yeah. Importance, yeah. And here's education, yeah. So urgent, yeah. For basic need, eating, every choice, yeah. Luxury car. This one just the simple implement. So next one, then what we have already understood how to use the important and urgent, because in our life we just have this two kind of methods. Urgent or not urgent. Urgent means we need to fulfill it now. Otherwise, it will be problem. Important not necessarily now, could be in future, but in important. So in order to complete this,
boleh ini enggak?
How to in the end, budget will talk and will inform you what is the
Suara apa itu? Oh, nggak ada HP buat ini video. Jadi soalnya ini kan
so the budget is much
coba kira-kira.
Okay, next one, okay. Yeah. So this one, if you want to make budget allocation, you can do in cash or time. The budget issue can be in cash or time. Next one. So if you are going in cash, yeah, like this, yeah. So we have to have something. They can always have to take us also because if you have no money, you can very easily. However, right now, saving is not a traditional. So, no cash, but we have some need. Before they come today, I do. One. So, this one is the rules. We have two options. Because you believe money and unlawful and here the economic benefit we have up to the sales transaction, but we don't need to cash, but then we can product. So this on the behalf of by asking back on the bill of view, within your needs. So this one just that whether you are going the you see here similar, look like similar. Because in the end maybe people goods. Yeah. Maybe you want to put this car and house, in the end, you put this car. But because of some bank, the bank will not give you the house. But it will not give you the money in cash. But will give you the house, but it is sold. But it is not of banks, but the tax. You give the tax and you yourself put this way to own the house. So the difference is the way of mechanism how to do this. Next one. So this one is another banking operation. So we have proof of fund. Like that, this is the process of the market. We put using the box. Either saving account, deposit account, saving account, this one will be able to use the this is bank. We have sometimes and we also make akad or contract penanaman masyarakat. All kami bank by the link between the investor to your market. One. Yeah, this one is another definition. Next slide. Yeah. So this one another financial transaction contract in Islamic bank. Yeah. So we have so many contracts. We have tabarruk and we have also tijarah. So in the case of tabarruk, this is social finance. Yeah. So the bank did not charge any funding because the agreement is just the saving or keeping the deposit. Yeah. So this one is for the you will learning in our Islam banking practices yeah, this 6th semester. And also we have the Tijarah with commercial basis. We have Al-Bari here. We have also the Musyarakah here, Mudarabah over there. So it means that because Islamic bank, we have so various contract depend on your needs as a customers, whether you are in left side or you are in the right side. Yeah. Next one. So I give you a simple case. I have 500 less. 500 left. Simple case. Yeah. You would like to purchase house. Yeah. The house price 700,000. Yeah. Under conventional. And this one is the conditions. Down payment, customer down payment, bank loan, yeah, and your interest rate, monthly and tenor. The same case also because of some banks, the same condition, yeah. So in the end, when we calculated this term, yeah, by using certain formula, so in the end of next 30 years, yeah, your total payment will be 2 million, more or less. Yeah. From 700 minus 30%. So your load actually only this one, sisters. Your load is here.
Test, test, test,
you
test,
see the
test.
detail that 50% is for calculation, yeah, the payment and so you have to be able to based on this function. Yeah. So next one, please. Next one, also things or income is supposed to be based on the so the objective of the because in Islam, yeah, we have to safeguard, yeah, these five uh, components, yeah. So the wealth, intellectual, yeah, the life, yeah, dignity, as the religion. So whatever the money that you
Yeah, financial literacy. So as we all know, making financial decisions is one of the things that we are facing right now, especially in your generation, because you have a lot of goods. No, there are lots of goods available in the market that is really attracting you, or it makes you when it comes to our preferences, it changes over time because of the different available goods and services now that is now available in the economy. So it's very important to have we have our control to our own finances, and when we manage it well later on, it gives us financial freedom, no, financial stability. So that's one of the important things of financial literacy. So this afternoon, I will give you some tips as to how to practice it in our considering your saving goals, your income, and your expenses. Okay, next please. So module one would be on financial literacy and personal finance. So what is financial literacy? So when we say financial literacy, by definition, it refers to knowledge, skills, and confidence to manage your personal finances effectively. Why it's also important to consider your economic circumstances. When we talk about economic circumstances, you need to consider your income, okay, your debt, your assets when you make financial decisions. And also, you need to consider your social environment, like your family backgrounds, the community that you are in. Okay? By making this consideration, we are with that when we talk about your financial management, we fit it to your individual unique situation. No, so it doesn't mean like how I plan my financial status will just be the same with yours. If we are faced with different conditions like our environment and also our personal characteristics. So when we talk about knowledge as part of the definition, it highlights three things: knowledge, skills, and confidence. No, these are present when we talk about financial literacy. And knowledge here refers to having an understanding of the fundamental financial concepts and principles. So if you have this knowledge and you able to apply it as to how you manage your finances, then basically you got the skill. No, you got the skills. And lastly would be confidence. It's the feeling of being sufficiently self-assured to make decisions relating to your personal finances. So being able to do what is right when you're faced with something that is that relates to your financial status. So when you can make sound decisions, okay, so it has something to do about your financial literacy thing. Okay, so next please. Okay, so take a good look or try to reflect about your personal money management style. Okay, if it were a movie, would it be fast and furious or slow and steady? What do you think? Fast and furious. Yeah, no, mostly like young students, the generation Z. Are you the or the millennials? Are you part of millennials? What generation are you in? Z. Yeah, you're from generation Z, so it's fast and furious. Like you're very incisive. Like when you see things, like you like everything. Yeah, you have plan for everything. Okay, so if it's number one, the first one, the fast and furious, then you need this lecture. Okay. Okay, so we try to look at the real data on financial literacy. So there's one financial literacy survey, and it's in 2014. As you observe, it's like outdated already, but this is the biggest um survey on financial literacy. It composed of 150,000 individuals coming from different countries, implemented by Standard and Poor um, company. So there they found out that when it comes to financial literacy for adults, mostly countries coming from the Northern Europe and advanced economies, they tend to have a higher financial literacy rate. Like we have Sweden, Norway, Finland. So on the average, their financial literacy rate for adults is 65%. And for advanced economies like Canada, United States, the financial literacy for adults is on the average at 55%. But in Asia, it's a little smaller. No, it on the average it only runs around 25%. Okay, so we have here some countries in Asia, like for the case of Indonesia, the adult financial literacy rate is 32%. For the Philippines, it's only 25%, Singapore, 59%, and also Malaysia, 36%. So overall, we'd like to look at the world perspective with the result of the survey. 33% of adults worldwide are financially literate. So it gives us around 27%, 67% who financially illiterate. It means they don't have the knowledge, the skills, and the confidence to manage their financial, their personal finances. And when we compared the literacy rate in US and to the adults worldwide, so 57% of adults in US are financially literate, while only 33% of adults worldwide. Okay, so it's really significantly higher than the world rate. And when we try to look at the biological sex, no, so 35% of men in the world are financially literate, and only 30% of women are financially literate. So take note that financial illiteracy is an important issue that needs to be addressed because it is it serves as a barrier to achieve financial inclusion. No? So without knowledge, if you are financially literate, so you might not know also what are the available financial instruments that you can invest on later on. So financial inclusion can help improve health and being. And it's important to note that financial inclusion is part of Sustainable Development Goal number 50. No, that is one of the SDGs that a lot of us countries are trying to achieve. So by financial inclusion, it makes it easier for people to manage medical expenses and rebound from a health crisis. So take note that out-of-pocket healthcare payments are one of the main reasons people in developing countries remain in poverty. Because like when we mismanages our finances, later on when we have emergencies, we rely mostly on loans and then everything becomes a mess. So that's why financial literacy is very important. Okay, so it's important because number one, it gives you financial stability when you handle your finances well. So you can empower also you can empower someone in terms of financial decision making because it's not only for yourself, but you can also influence people around you. And then you can also recover from financial losses and long-term financial planning. So it's important also to consider financial health as one of our ultimate objective. So this is coming from the global framework, of the Center for Financial Services Innovation in 2018. So this is how to define a financially healthy person. Like when you are financially healthy person, it means you plan and prioritizes needs over want. So in the discussion of Professor Dimas, he really emphasized between the difference of needs and wants. And take note, it differs from one person to another. Your needs might be my wants, or my wants might be your needs. So it's a case-to-case scenario, but it's important that you can recognize what is the difference between the two. So needs is something that you cannot live without. And wants is something that makes you happy, is something that is not necessary for you to survive. Okay? And then you use range of financial tools, products, and services. Okay? You know how to balance your income and expenses. You manage and you recover from financial and economic shocks. And then you manage debts. Okay? So if you have some debts, you know when to pay it and you can pay on time. Okay? And then you build wealth and maintains returns. Okay? So next, please. So we have here some strategies balancing needs and wants. Okay, it's very important to take in economics. For example, we have what we call equilibrium. So we really want to balance things. No, so just the same with with our financial situations, because again, your money is something that is scarce. No, we don't. It's not unlimited. It's not that abundant. That's why we need to manage it very well because it's also scarce. Number one, to balance it, it's very important that you prioritize. Okay, so by prioritizing, you need to identify your basic necessities. You should know what really matters, that needs for your survival. Okay, and second, if you have some loans from your classmates, it's very important that you know how to pay. No, it is really part of your it's your responsibility to pay what you own. And then another is, and because it's very important, because when you borrow something and you see to it that you can really pay, no? And then lastly would be you need to save and at the same time invest. Savings and investment are two different things. And later on I'll give more I'll explain it in detail as to their difference. Second, again, is what I mentioned. Nowadays, because of the availability of many goods and services around us, it's difficult to really identify what really matters because it seems all of them are really useful to us. Set limits. Okay, with the limited resources that we have, like money, for example. So by knowing what's your wants and needs, then you would be able to set limits with your expenses. Okay, you define reasonable limits for spending on wants while not compromising on needs. It only means that it's not bad that you have some wants, but it's not also good that you sacrifice your needs for your wants. Okay, like for example, you buy a new iPhone 16 and then you are now you are bills. It's not good because you are also sacrificing your health just to get your wants. And then another is you need to track your expenses. Sometimes we're very lenient to this, like it's okay, I will not monitor because what is it, like I only have I only have this much, so it will not matter. Like it will only take time for me to track my expenses, but it's very important because you will be aware about the inflows and outflows of your finances. Like with your monthly allowance, so which item has the biggest or the biggest percentage in terms of spending? Will it go to your or to your internet or to your transportation so that you will know later on what you need to prioritize. Now, for this month, I need to allot like 200,000 rupiah for my transportation, sort of like that. So it's always fixed. Okay. So tracking your expenses is one thing that you need to practice. Then later on, it will not sounds like it's tiresome to do it. It just it if it becomes a habit, then everything will become easier. Okay. Next, please. Okay, so that's basically what financial literacy. So I just want to emphasize that financial literacy requires three things: knowledge, skills, and confidence. Yes. So next would be about financial planning, savings, and investment. So, planning is very important. We always plan. We just don't know sometimes, but we always do it. Like for example, what you want to wear, what time you will wake up. It's part of, it's also a plan. So we plan because we want to save time and we want also to achieve something. We want to hit some targets. So same with your finances. Financial planning is very important because it saves you money and it helps you attain your financial goals. So we should also. So by definition, financial planning is just a detailed assessment of an individual's or household's present and future financial situation to manage future cash flows, expenditures, and asset values. So basically knowing what are urgent, what are the expenses, or upcoming income, so that you will know your allocation. Like, how much will you save this month? How much will go to your expenditures? How much will go to your leisure, for example? Okay, next, please. Okay, why make financial plan? To control overspending. Because when you plan what you're supposed to spend today, so it saves you money. Because, okay, today I only need my meals, my transpo, and like a cup of coffee. So you plan ahead, like for this week, I should only have 2 cups of coffee from this coffee shop, not daily. Because if you don't plan it might not be that obvious, but when you track back, it seems that every day you are buying a cup of coffee from a coffee shop. So it's not also saving you money. So next one is to mitigate financial risk and loss. No? So let's say for this one is very close for investment. Like when you invest, that you plan it out so that you will know the risk that is involved, not just about the return that you will get, but also the risk. That is one thing that you need to consider. And also freedom from worry and debt. So this is what we call the financial freedom. No? So when you plan, so it gives you stability because you are aware of your financial status. Like tomorrow, I will not worry. The next week, I will not worry because I have enough. Okay? And then sustain your lifestyle. If you really plan, then basically you would be able to meet your daily lifestyle. You will be able to maintain it. It's not like when you don't plan, like if you receive a lot of, let's say, a large amount of allowances, it might be that you are rich today and you will be poor the next day. So that's one of the consequences. And also, you will realize also your financial goals. Next, please. Okay, so we have here financial planning cycle. So it's a cycle because it is an ongoing process. So one step leads you to another step. No? So this is the way of doing financial planning or when you plan your finances. Number one, what is my financial state? So is it positive? Like do you have some extra allowances or income in your pocket or in your bank account? Or is it negative? It means do you have loans? Okay, and then what do I do? What do I want to achieve? So if you know your financial status, what do you want to achieve? It's either if you have positive income, like do you want to increase further your savings? But if you have loans, for example, if it's negative, then how can I pay my loans? No? And then what must I do to achieve my goals? So you need to really plan out the steps so that you can achieve your goal. And then number four, am I doing it? Are you doing the things that you have identified the strategies that you have identified in order to achieve your goals? And then if you are not doing it, or if you find it that I'm doing it, but it seems it's not effective, what changes do I need to make? Okay, so it is a never-ending process when we talk about financial planning, because sometimes when you identify strategies, it might work now, but it will not work later on. So you keep on changing it and updating your strategies when you talk about financial planning. Next, please. So financial planning is necessary to have savings and to achieve financial goals. So this is what we want, why we plan, so that we can save and we achieve our financial goals. So savings are the fund or money. So what is savings? So we have savings and investment, right? So what's the difference between the two? So when we talk about savings, savings are funds or money set aside for future usage to meet financial goals or cover emergencies. It means you allot some portion of your allowances so that when there is an emergency or something urgent that come up, you have something to use. That is savings. No, savings is different from investment. So it's really you want to use it for your future consumption. You don't use it now because you are expecting that you will be using it in the future, or something might happen that you need some money, extra money. Okay, so we know that your expenses. No, generally the formula for expenses is the I for savings is this one, income minus expenses. So savings is equals to income minus expenses. But we have another way of, for you to prioritize savings. You can tweak the formula. Instead of income minus expenses, you might go with income minus savings is equal to your expenses. It means that you are prioritizing your savings. Like if you want to save 20%, for example, of your income, then you need to separate it ahead. And what is left would be the amount that you will allot for your expenses. So instead of savings equals to income minus expenses, why not income minus savings is equal to your expenses? Then with that, you are really securing a certain amount for savings. It's always something that you allot first before other things. Because what happens when you say income minus expenses? Expenses are never ending. So, and then you realize, okay, I will not save this month because if you tend to look at it, my income is not enough, because you only think about, oh, what are the things that I need to buy for this month. So you keep on listing. So what if you set an amount for expenses? Like, I only have 1 million rupiah for this month for expenses because I will be putting the 500,000 rupiah for my savings. So now it gives you a limit. Only 1 million rupiah for my expenses. That's it. No? Okay. Next, please. So the importance of having savings is for you to achieve your financial goal. Like if you have some targets to meet your future needs, emergencies. We have also what we call an emergency fund. No? Like for sickness, calamities, accident, and epidemic, and also for death. And also to address life cycle events like education, employment, and poverty. Like let's say if you intend to pursue postgraduate studies later on, and maybe you don't want to seek scholarship, then you can have your own money to fund your education. Next. So where do you usually save your money? So we have this, sometimes you just put your money in the cabinet or in your pocket or under your bed, no? That's one way of keeping your money. Another is through saving jar in the bank or also in cooperative. So these are the means of keeping or saving your money. But next, please. Please, yeah. Where to save? So yeah, we know this for economic students, it's very important to put our money in banks. Why? Because we give emphasis on the time value of money. When you just keep it in your cabinet, you keep it under your bed, it will not address the time value of money because it's not earning interest. No? Take note that your money today, the purchasing power of your money today will not be the same next year or 5 years after. No? Because of inflation. So with by putting your money in a bank, it earns interest and somehow it might not cope up with inflation, but at least it earns interest. Okay? And sometimes you can also put your savings in cooperative, okay? Or any loan association. Like in cooperative, in the case of the Philippines, the difference is they are not taxable. Like when your money earns an interest, you get the entire interest and they will not get tax or they will not tax you. But for the banks, there is a tax for the earned interest. Okay? So why it's important to put your money in financial institutions? For safety and security. Like what if you have billions under your bed or in your cabinet? So it put you into risk because the thief might identify you or someone else, okay? But again, by putting like your money, it's very safe. Like you're only bringing with you the ATM or the passbook. Also, liquidity. With the presence of financial institutions, if banks nowadays are very accessible, and if you put it in the ATM, so we have also a lot of ATM like in the campus or even in big malls. So it makes you liquid when you need your money and also earns interest. So here's the time value of money. Like if you buy a house today, it only cost you, let's say, 200 million rupiah. But if you delay it, buying the same house, no, with the same lot size, the same looks, it will not require you this money only, but higher, okay, higher value. And that is because of the time value of money and also with the inflation rate. Because for the construction side, materials are cheaper today than the materials that you will purchase 5 years from now. Okay, so time value of money is one thing that you should remember when you think about where to put your savings. Okay, next please. So things to consider when you save your funds. Okay, to an institution, the safety and security, you need to check on the credibility of the banks. Okay, it should be easily accessible so that in case you need it, you can withdraw money. Have a good interest earned on savings. You have no charges on your account. Like when you withdraw money on that bank, will not charge you. Okay? And also value and continue. Next. So how to save? Prioritize savings, expenses, make a potential. That's the thing. Okay? So prioritize savings. It should be income minus savings all the time. Okay, next. Steps in making a financial plan. So we have here the 4 steps. So number one, you need to list your saving goals. So for example, your goal is to buy a new laptop 6 months from now, and it costs you 5. So you need to list your income. You should know your income and your expenses. No? So let's say your allowance is 1.5 billion rupiah. The total expenditure is 1.2 billion. So you have a saving capacity, which is your step number 3 of 300,000. So what's your action plan? You need to identify how to reach 5 million rupiah in 6 months. So you save in each month, you cut your social expenses to increase savings, you set up your savings jar or separate account for the new laptop, and you use holiday, okay, for part-time, or you look for another part-time job to increase your savings capacity in order for you to get your goal, which is buying. Okay, so this is just an example. So you might have different financial goals. You can follow these steps, no, so that it gives you clear picture as to how you can achieve your targets. Okay, next. So how to grow your money? So you need to invest your money. So saving is different from investment because investment is something that is an extra. Okay. So if anything that is something extra to you, like I say, if you have already your emergency fund, it is an amount of money that you are willing to put into risk. Like if you encounter like let's say some loss, if something that you're really willing to give it up for income or for loss, no? So savings is something that you really need it for future consumption, but investment is that the goal here is to increase your wealth, to increase to get another income, okay, an extra income. So by earning an interest from your investment. So sometimes investment is purchasing assets is one type of investment. Like you purchase a house and then later on you use it for rentals so that you can earn money. Okay? Or you buy a land and then later on you just keep it, you want the value to appreciate and then you decide to sell it, okay, to your friends or other um to your family members, for example. Next, please. So, what is the difference between the two? Emergency funds, you save for emergency fund, and you invest to make your savings grow. Okay? And then you save so that you can have source of money for future consumption and also to achieve financial goals. Investment, there is a risk of financial loss and uncertain income because it's also possible that you invest. But what happened is it's possible that you will not earn. No, it gives you negative ROI. Okay, like say for example, when you invest in stocks, for example, so it's not always positive income. It fluctuates. It's very volatile. So next, please. Why you need to invest? Inflation protection. Because sometimes yung bank, they cannot cope up with the inflation rate. But with investment, the interest rate is higher than the inflation rate. So they can really cope up with inflation, wealth growth, and also generating passive income. Like if you invest in real estate and then you use it for rentals, then it gives you passive income. Okay? Next. Where to invest? You can invest in business, or you can have your own business, no, as your source of investment. You can also invest in non-financial assets. These are physical assets like land and also houses. Okay. Another is financial instrument. Okay. We have three types of financial instrument: government securities like treasury bonds. These are just a paper. Just you loan something to the you get an interest. Okay. And you have also pool funds and also PPP, then unsecured. Okay. Next, please. So before you invest, you need to assess first your risk profile. If you are high risk, then you are so aggressive, so you're good at investment. Low risk, then you are conservative. Next. So sources of retirement income. So here, when we retire, it's also very important. It is something that we want to look forward. Like, it's not necessary to retire 60 years old. You can retire early and have passive income. So it depends what you want. Like, one of your income when you retire is pension or social security. So this is coming from your employer. Okay, that instead of having monthly salary, you will now get your pension when you retire. And another is an income coming from your investments, from your real estate, your physical investment, and also from your personal savings. Okay, so that's all. Thank you so much for
We have the 15 to 20 level. Close to the fifth layer.
This is just only bear with me. Just spending decisions and the personal financial issues. So of course, from the time at the end of this session, you will be able to demonstrate understanding what is income about, spending decisions, as well as the personal financial issues. So let's start with income and spending decisions. So we know that income, these are the money that comes in our pocket. So how about allowance? I think most of you here all of you here are students. So you have your allowance, and that allowance can be considered as income because it comes in your pocket. So anything that you can earn, like through allowance or even through labor, like part-time jobs or jobs, you can earn income. Okay? And this typically includes wages, dividends, interest, and even profits. And this is important in financial planning because it affects the way you spend. It also affects the way you save. Of course, usually if you have more income, then you can buy more. You can spend more. While if you have lower income, then you have to be thrifty in your spending. So speaking of spending, so these are this is the output. I mean that comes out from your pocket. So you buy things, that's spending. You pay your debts, that's spending. You pay your school fees, that's spending. So anything that comes out from your pocket, it's actually spending. So this is also important because it affects your ability to save, especially if you spend and you forgot that you have bills pay, and then you spend more than the end is you have savings or investment. So what are the financial instruments associated with spending? So you have cash or the money, like the credit card or the card that you use to borrow money, or even your debit card, even your card for your savings account. So these are the financial instruments associated with spending because if we buy things, we use cash. Even if you don't have cash, if you have credit card, you borrow, not from your credit card. Even you withdraw from a bank so that you can spend. So let's discuss the evolution of a plan. I think this was already presented by Dr. Diaz. So of course, all of us until we have years age, young adult, then if we still alive in our 30s, so we will become middle age adult. And if we're still alive in our 60s, we become old and retirees. So what are these? An income. So of course, when you baby, toddler, so no income nor allowance. So what be the one to spend for your life? Maybe formula clothing, of course, your parents. And now when you grow up, then you go to school, of course, you have your income, your school allowance. Of course, it's from your parents, guardian, or even your sponsor, your scholarship. And of course, you're going to pay for school supply, gadgets, hobbies, and etc. Covered by your parents, guardian, even your sponsor. Then once you graduate, salaries, wages, and gifts. Personal, some of you will masters you with money for yourself, things that makes you happy, or even social and lifestyle, or even house, transport, and even savings for your future. Now, that's also, I think, that's part of your budget when you are young. But then, when you reach 30s to 59 years old, you are middle age adult, but still your income comes from your salaries, wages, tips, or even if your business, you have profits. So, spending decisions. So, it's focusing more on the housing, family, family needs, your retirement,
even your lifetime and your family's pleasure. But when you reach a company. So what are you studying? First, most when we reach old, we are have health issues. So we spend more on healthcare, leisure, hobbies, housing gifts, and even support for our family. So our spending and income is actually varying depending on our ages. So how to make good spending decisions? Of course, you have to prioritize your basic needs and even balance your spending. So prioritize first the basic necessities or essentials. So these are the things that you cannot survive if you will not spend on this. Like for example, food, water, clothing, and etc. And next, the needs, or these are the items that you need, but you can still survive. Like for example, Wi-Fi. You will not die if there's no Wi-Fi, right? Or you will not die if you have no cell phone. So you still need it, but you can survive without it. And last priority will be the embellishments or the wants, like the luxuries, like iPhone, Prada, and even projects like this, or even luxury vacation. So these are really expensive. I think that would be your last priority, especially you as student. So another is allocate spending for emergency funds. Emergency funds, these are the things that will handle your unexpected expenses. Especially when you are students, there are unexpected expenses that will come along the way. So, for example, you have to set at least your target 10% to 20% of your allowance so that if the unexpected expenses will come, you have some money to get. Okay? And emergency funds should be liquid, meaning you can easily access them. So how? You have to put your emergency fund on your savings account, your bank account, checking account, or even mutual funds and stocks. But you have to be careful because sometimes these are subject to fluctuations and it will cost a little bit for you to get your money. But then avoid putting your emergency fund for real estate or down payments in housing because they are not liquid, meaning they are not accessible. It will take more time to access. So it would be better if you put it on your bank. actually